Good evening, everyone. We have new microphones, so I hope I'm getting this right. You can hear us loud and clear. Thank you, and welcome to everyone who was here for the District 230 School Board meeting on October 30th, 2025. It is 7 p.m. Lisa, if you could take the roll.
Here.
Here.
Good evening, everyone. All right, next on the agenda is our superintendent's opening remarks.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here, as always. Very excited that today was the release of the Illinois School Report Card for all public schools in the state of Illinois, and we have a press release set to go tomorrow morning, but there, in short, there's a lot more for District 230 to celebrate than there is not to celebrate. For those that may not know the structure of how the state of Illinois gets its ratings, they essentially have a rating of exemplary, and it's reserved for the top 10% of all schools, K-8, middle school, high school, or K-6, excuse me, middle school, high school, that qualify. 10% of schools in Illinois qualify with the exemplary rating. The slightly not great news would be that none of our schools got the exemplary rating, but all three of our schools were right below the threshold. This year, the exemplary rating threshold was 93.02 as an overall score, and if you want to think about it like a traditional grading scale, 0 through 100, 100 is a perfect score, 0 is not great. So 93.02 was the final cut for the exemplary schools. Sandburg was 92.66 as their overall score. Andrew was 92.64. So Drs. Othman and Smith were considering that a tie. And SAG had a rating of 89.27, all within the top 15 to 20 percentile in the state of Illinois. We're also very proud of two other components of that. All three schools had relatively significant gains since their last year's score. Sandburg and Andrew went up over 2 points, SAG went up over 4 points. And that also meant that they significantly closed the gap between schools that are exemplary versus where they were at just a year ago. The biggest two areas that we're going to continue to hone in on and work towards, and the good news is these are baked into our strategic framework. We need to continue to tackle chronic absenteeism as one of our areas that we could get some gains in terms of our overall score, and our EL learner proficiency rating, which is also an area. But we're very proud of the work that we've done. We're very proud of the efforts that our administration, our teachers, our support staff have taken to continue to move the needle. We know that we don't put everything into a rating, but we know that it's a reflection of the work that we're doing, and most importantly, the academic and other advantages our students are getting in District 230. So we're very proud of it. Again, we'll have a press release ready, and two of the three committees in particular will unpack those scores throughout the month of November. That is it for my opening.
And thank you. Am I now? Okay. And I hope as the state continues on their listening tour to try to set a benchmark, that all school districts know what it is and can meet it, because we've talked about this before at committees. That seems to be ever a moving target, and it would be more realistic to honor what you just said with all of the growth. So we're very pleased to see especially the gaps that are closing and what we're continuing to work on. So thank you. There is a delay when you hit the button, just so you know. Oh, I don't have to hold it. Stays green. Okay, thank you. All right. Next, Dr. Melting, do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, tonight we have two amendments. We are removing the hockey indemnification agreement, which is item 4F, no, I was correct the first time, 5F, from the consent agenda. We just have some items that we want to get more information for the board regarding that indemnification agreement. And an item that will be discussed in executive session at 12C, the settlement agreement with the family is also going to be moved. We did not receive the signed copy as we anticipated, so we'll bring that back for our next meeting, ideally.
So we have to make sure on the consent agenda.
Hit the button.
So we have to make sure when we do the consent agenda that it's as amended.
Yep. Okay. All righty. Next, we have a resolution to fill a board member vacancy. So, oh, I skipped one. Okay. We need now a nomination for the office of board secretary.
I nominate Tony Serator for board secretary.
Second.
Okay. If we don't have anyone else, I learned something new just reading this, Chris, and I've read this before. We do not need a second, and if only one nomination is made, then I will instruct the board recording secretary to record a unanimous vote for that member, and that member is thereby declared elected. So, Tony Seratori, thank you. You are now the board secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next, because of that, we needed to do that first because we do also have a board vacancy. So now I need a motion for a resolution to fill the board vacancy. Yes. If you look, we need a
I
motion.
move the school board approve the resolution to fill the board vacancy.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, we're filling the board vacancy. I just have a brief comment. And I know while Tim has shown dedication over the past 8 months, I know he'll make a good board member. I believe other individuals were suitable as well and would have brought greater diversity to the board and to the District 230 community as a whole. So I'll be voting no for this one.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, Lisa, can you take a roll?
Yes.
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 No.
Yes. All right, Tim, you are approved. All right, Tim, now we're going to go out there, and I'm going to read the oath with you. Office of Member of the Board of Education of Consolidated High School District 230.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education to Consolidated High School District 230
In accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and the laws of the State of Illinois to the best of my ability.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I further swear that I shall respect taxpayer interests by serving as a faithful protector of the school district's assets.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall encourage and respect the free expression of opinion by my fellow board members and others who seek a hearing before the board while respecting the privacy of students and employees.
I shall recognize that a board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can only be made by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall recognize that the board member has no legal authority as an individual and that decisions can be made only by a majority vote at a public board meeting.
I shall abide by a majority decision of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
I shall abide by the majority decisions of the board while retaining the right to seek changes in such decisions through ethical and constructive channels.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
As part of the Board of Education, I shall accept the responsibility for my role in the equitable and quality education of every student in the school district.
I shall foster with the board extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set the course for Consolidated High School District 230.
I shall foster and reward extensive participation of the community, formulate goals, define outcomes, and set a course for Consolidated High School District 250.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall assist in establishing a structure and an environment designed to ensure all students have the opportunity to attain their maximum potential through a sound organizational framework.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall strive to ensure a continuous assessment of student achievement and all conditions affecting the education of our children in compliance with state law.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students or community schools to advance the mission for District 230.
I shall serve as education's key advocate on behalf of students and our community schools to advance the vision for District 230.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district towards fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
I shall strive to work together with the district superintendent to lead the school district toward fulfilling the vision the board has created, fostering excellence for every student in the areas of academic skills, knowledge, citizenship, and personal development.
Welcome aboard. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim, and to everyone who did apply, we want to thank you as well. We are blessed to have many people want to participate in the Board of Education, and we hope to continue that you are offering your service to our community. Tim, this is the one shot tonight you get a break. I know you've been attending a lot of committees, and so if you're comfortable with voting, you may. If you're not, because you feel like you're not caught up, you can abstain. I won't offer you that next time. All right. Next, we have our school board student representatives.
Good evening. Good evening. As we enter the fall season, Sandburg portrays a sense of community, creating an environment where both students and staff members can thrive. To start off, homecoming week was a great success and ended with the Eagles football team's Friday night win over Homewood Flossmoor. Also on the Friday night before the homecoming dance, a crew of 1985 graduates visited Sandburg and got to take a walk down memory lane. Saturday ended the exciting week with the homecoming dance. The theme was City of Stars, and many students attended, having a fun time as always. Additionally, Sandburg has excelled in its sports teams. Girls golf won the IHSA Regional, and boys golf got 4th place at the IHSA Regional. The boys and girls cross-country teams will compete in the IHSA sectional this Saturday with an eye on advancing to the state meet. Also, girls tennis advanced to the IHSA state tournament. Lastly, the Sandburg football team won the Southwest Valley Conference Championship. It is the first conference championship since 1995. The team advanced to the first round of the IHSA playoffs and will play Lockport at Mike Navarro Stadium on Saturday at 6 p.m. This year, the fall play was the giver, and Sandburg students provided 3 great performances in the pack. Also, Sandburg's Model United Nations hosted the 16th annual CSMON with over 40 schools attending. Also, Sandburg's Marching Eagles had their annual instant replay event in the Eagle Gym on October 20th. It included many hit songs from Friday Night Lights. The Marching Eagles also earned the Crowd Appeal Award at the Illinois State Marching Band Championship on October 10th. Sandburg hosted the first We the Breakfast of the school year this month as well. More than 40 Sandburg staff members were recognized for their contributions to the Sandburg community, are embodying our tenets of we learn, we grow, we inspire. Just last week, our With Us program brought Sandburg students and staff to each of our D135 junior highs. Students and staff visited classrooms to connect with the incoming class of 2030. We shared important information and tips for the incoming students. We also shared our success formula of be here, do your best, and get involved. The incoming freshmen showed enthusiasm and are eager to be welcomed at as Sandburg's newest Eagles. Moreover, parent-teacher conferences took place virtually, which makes it more attainable for both the parents and the teachers. This is always a really helpful time for parents to get an insight into how their child is doing at school. Sandburg also hosted the National Honor Society induction ceremony just this past Tuesday. Nearly 200 students were inducted and recognized for excelling both academically and socially in the Sandburg community. To conclude, I want to thank you all for your time and opportunity that I have here at D230. Thank you.
Good evening. Once again, I am Shelby Oliver, Andrew's student representative to the board. Now that D230 is more than halfway through our first semester, Andrew's students and staff continue to celebrate our many accomplishments. Throughout the month of October, the Thibault family continued to cherish our motto, with every spark, we leave our mark in all aspects of student life. Now, as you may be able to tell from my outfit, which I hope somebody is curious, Andrew was currently celebrating Halloween early this year during its annual Community Halloween Night. Hosted by the Students Against Violence Everywhere Club, the event features clubs and sports decorating classrooms, while families from our community dress up and walk the halls to trick or treat and learn about the multitude of opportunities provided at Andrew. The night successfully engages Andrew's students with our community while providing fun for future T-Bolts for Halloween. Earlier in this month, to honor the success of our driven students, Andrew's staff hosted an AP, grade point, and community service recognition night for the class of 2026. In total, the event celebrated the top 20% of the class achieving an average GPA of a 4.65, with many students achieving top success in rigorous AP or honors classes. Additionally, for students who have completed over 75 hours of community service, they have amassed over 17,145 hours, all of which were volunteered at outreach events throughout high school. In all, the celebration effectively recognized the wide variety of senior achievements as they prepare to transition into T-Bolt alumni. Officially finalizing their successful 2025 season this month, the Marching Andrew Thunderbolts traveled to Illinois State University to compete at the 2025 Marching Band Championships. The band first competed in the preliminary rounds of the contest, where they achieved numerous successes and were chosen to continue in the competition's state finals, where they placed third in Class 5A and ninth overall in the state. After a strong finale in this year's marching band season, the Marching Thunderbolts are excited to return and compete in the upcoming Winter Color Guard and Winter Percussion seasons. Another successful event stemming from T-Bolt creativity was this year's fall play, A Games Afoot. Set in a massive, elaborate mansion, their Murder Mysteries cast and crew practiced tirelessly for months before performing 3 nights for our Andrew community. Overall, the Andrew family cannot wait for our theater department to announce its next production. Stemming from this year's early successes, Andrew cannot wait to celebrate more accomplishments and engaging events of our building this year. Happy Halloween, and thank you.
Good evening. Mo Wong couldn't be with us today, so we have our Student Council Vice President, Sadeem Mohammed, who is here and who will read Mo's speech. So, Sadeem Mohammed.
Good evening, School Board. My name is Sadeem Mohammed, and I'm Vice President of STAG's Student Council. With October coming to an end, I'm excited to share the highlights of STAG this month with you. Charger Athletic have been powering through and showing excellent performance. To start off, our unified volleyball team competed in state finals again this year and placed in third. The Charger girls flag football team became the 2025 regional champions. The boys soccer team as well became the regional champions, with Charger Nation cheering them on and showing what true Charger pride really is. The students at Stagg High School keep demonstrating their academic integrity, such as Jack Krasinski becoming the boys cross-country SWCS champion. Our boys cross-country team qualified for the sectional competition, which will be happening in Hinsdale this Saturday. In addition, Bridget Begley qualified for the girls team and will also compete on Saturday. These Chargers are great examples of what it means to be a strong student athlete. Our students continue to make our school great in all aspects and represent the best of Stagg. Stagg's Drama Club got to perform their thrilling fall show and heard the win. The Chargers kept the audience engaged and entertained throughout the show. Our theater program never fails to disappoint. We hope you were able to see the show and will join us in future performances. To be a Charger is to forever bleed orange and blue. The class of 75 showed this at their 50th reunion and walked into our building with great school spirit and got to witness the new yet familiar hallways. Members of the marching band were able to talk with a few of the alumni and learn about their experiences with the marching Chargers. These alumni demonstrated that the kindness within our Chargers will never fade away. Stagg also celebrated Polish American Heritage Month. It's great to see the hallway filled with celebration and appreciation for Polish culture. The Stagg community is always proud to share and appreciate the many cultures that make this a special place. The Polish Club does a fantastic job with lifting up school spirit by filling up the commons with upbeat Polish DJ music, daily announcements about Polish and Poland, and providing delicious Polskis for the Chargers. As we transition from fall into the winter season, the jazz band has begun its audition process. Fall sports are entering state competitions or have wrapped up. Winter sports begin preconditioning and tryouts, and many clubs or activities have entered their winter competition season. I would like to thank the Board of Education for their continued support for all of our students and programs, and for all the opportunities to share of our success and celebrations with you. Thank you.
All right, next we have our student and staff spotlight. Should I start with this? Okay. All right, it is that time of year, and there it is the principals. I'm going to make sure I get this right. It is the Illinois Principal Association celebrates Principal Appreciation Day, and that was last week on Friday, October 24th. And we want to acknowledge the three of you. I know you're very humble, but I'm going to, I know, you came up so quiet. I am going to read a resolution. So here we go. State of Illinois proclamation. Whereas school principals play an integral role in nurturing a positive, student-centered culture in elementary, middle, and high schools across the state of Illinois, and whereas school principals are responsible for attracting and retaining the best teachers and support staff to ensure that each child receives equitable educational opportunities and services to reach their potential, and whereas it is the primary responsibility of the state of Illinois to provide adequate and equitable resources for schools so that all students have access to a quality education and foundation for a successful future, and whereas the Illinois Principals Association, which represents over 6,900 educational leaders statewide, believes that educators' experiences and voices are essential to crafting effective education policy, and whereas the Illinois Principals Association is committed to developing, supporting, and advocating for innovative educational leaders through high-quality professional development, networking opportunities, and legislative advocacy, and whereas school leaders face many obstacles in supporting and educating our young people, and it is through their perseverance, passion, and hope-filled leadership that Illinois continues to produce quality, career-ready students, and whereas we must continue to encourage, support, and recognize our school principals who have a positive impact on Illinois students and the educational system in the land of Lincoln. Therefore, I, J.B. Pritzker, Governor of the State of Illinois, do hereby proclaim October 19th through 25th, 2025 as Principals Week and October 24th, 2025 as Principals Day in Illinois to recognize principals and the Illinois Principals Association for all that they do to help our children learn and succeed. Congratulations. But we still have more people to acknowledge. So Dr. Othman, if you could come back up.
Thank you. Good evening. It is my privilege to recognize senior Addison Peel, Victor J. Andrew High School's impactful student for her leadership and service to our school community and to the state of Illinois. Addison was recently honored by Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Janelius for her advocacy with the Illinois Donate Life program. Because of her passion and commitment, Addison was selected as one of 5 students across the entire state to be ambassadors in the 2025 Illinois LEAD program. In this role, Addison has traveled to high schools across the state presenting to students about the importance of joining the Donate Life program and the profound life-saving impact organ and tissue donation provides. Her voice and message have reached young people statewide and encouraged countless students to consider becoming donors. Addison has also made a tremendous impact at Andrew High School. For the past 2 years, she's gone and partnered with our driver's education program semester to students so that they receive meaningful information to help them make informed life-making decisions. And compassion truly exemplify what it means to be a T-Bolt. She's an inspiration to her peers and a powerful example of how one student's leadership can create a change beyond the walls of high school. Please join me in thanking Addison for her remarkable contributions to the state as well as Andrew High School. Congratulations, Addie Peel.
Congratulations. Thank you. Mr. Olson.
All right. So, we ready, Luke? Yeah. Okay. The Illinois Special Olympics Unified Volleyball is a program that brings together Special Olympic athletes with unified partners onto the same volleyball team for training and competition. It is part of the Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools program, which promotes social inclusion, builds teamwork, and fosters friendship within the school environment. The state championships took place in Rockford on October 18th and 19th. At the end of the tournament, the Stagg High School Unified Volleyball team won a bronze medal, taking 3rd place in state. And on a side note, they won that 3rd place award down 1 player, right? So it's like playing volleyball with your hand tied behind your back, and they still took it to them. We are so proud of our Special Olympians, their unified partners, and our coaches. And I'd like to introduce our coaches, Abby Degliomini, Carrie Markowitz, and also Tom Siska, and they are going to introduce you to Stagg's 3rd place in-state unified volleyball team.
Thank you. Before Tom introduces all the players, we would just like to extend a sincere thank you always for supporting our program. I say this every year because we're always here every year, which is kind of nice to say for some sport. But anything that we ask for, we receive. We have wonderful accommodations when it comes to hotels. We have wonderful funds to take these kids out to nice dinners. We had a blast with this group. This group in particular is a really special group. They do a fantastic job during the day as people tutors, and then gave up a lot of nights in this long weekend to be with our athletes and help them bring home bronze. So very proud of them, and just a sincere thank you as always to supporting our program. We genuinely appreciate it. I'm going to hand it over to Tom to introduce the players.
And your lineup. No, starting with the Unified Partners, who are just a terrific group this year. I mean, outstanding role models for our athletes. Wouldn't you say so, Luke? Yeah? Tons of fun. Like Abby was saying, we had a blast in Rockford. And the Tuesday nights we got to spend, together on and off the court. Hopefully just would make lifelong memories for everybody involved. So want to take a moment. Oh, on top of it, very good volleyball players. I mean, this team was able to consistently set up a bump, set, and spike attack, which is not something we do every year. So that was really cool to see on the court on a regular basis. We're going to start with our Unified Partners. Ryan Wachtel, Emily Bao, Larabe Durrani, Lily Marino, and Lojan Demian. Close. Yeah, I say their first name so much, so. All right. And then our athletes representing today. First of all, this young man standing next to me, our super server, served at about an 80% clip this whole entire season. I mean, that's a long ways away, that service line. This guy was nailing it left and right. Luke Carroll. And then, as I was alluding to earlier with that, the bump, set, and spike, this is our master spiker over here, Ahmad Hamed. So again, thank you very much. What a great season, and thanks for having us here.
Thank you. We can't wait to see you next year. All right, next, our curriculum spotlight.
Good evening. I'm joined tonight by Dr. Augustiniak, the Associate Principal for Instruction here at STAG, as well as 3 teachers from the PE and Driver's Ed Department, Tom Lally, Mike McMahon, and Brian Smith. So tonight's video showcases our professional learning communities. They're teams of educators that are dedicated to supporting one another and continuously improving their professional practice. These teams here, they understand the importance of building strong learning partnerships with students and helping them take ownership for their learning. STAG's teams engage in educator-driven inquiry processes during our Late Start Wednesdays. They identify an area of focus, they develop an inquiry question that's aligned to our instructional framework, and they target research-based instructional practices that have an impact on student learning. Throughout the year, teams gather, they analyze evidence of student learning, and then they implement responsive instructional actions to support the growth of their students. Late Start Wednesdays have evolved here at STAG to an environment of shared purpose and collective efficacy, where our teachers truly believe in their work and their ability to impact student success, and they value the ability to grow and learn together.
Professional learning communities, or PLCs, are teams of educators that are committed to supporting one another and growing their professional practice. Professional collaboration is important because it provides a space for teachers to reflect, share ideas, and it's the authentic experience through those conversations that really drives our inquiry process.
Collaboration is a great opportunity for teachers to adapt and strategies that will yield results for students as they grow.
Our Late Start Wednesdays at STAG become a place where our teachers truly value the dedicated time for professional learning and have a collective belief in the impact they can make together.
If you have just kind of a moment of the day or during the week to kind of share ideas and to kind of have time to work on them and implement in the classroom, it's really valuable.
Each year, all of our VLC teams at STAG engage in an inquiry process during Late Start Wednesdays. We transitioned to an inquiry model about 4 years ago because it gives our teams the autonomy to identify an area of need that they want to investigate and do work together. Throughout the year, they gather and analyze evidence of student learning and implement responsive instructional actions to support growth for all learners.
The inquiry process is great because it lets our entire PLC focus on one particular issue, one particular thing that we'd like to improve, and we all see a need for.
Start of the inquiry, it's where it's a little messy, and that's okay because the process is us collecting evidence and then taking that evidence and analyzing it to make real change.
Now become the inquiry model, and become a place where teachers can really dive into something that is relevant, interesting. Teachers look at high-impact strategies, they collect evidence from students, and they make decisions about are those strategies working well at getting the outcomes that we want from our students. So it creates teams that believe in what they're doing.
We're more intentional in what we are doing. The data that we're collecting, it's driving our instructional practices.
Each PLC team creates an inquiry question aligned with the District 230 instructional framework. This ensures our teams target research-based practices that have a high impact on learning. This clear focus for developing an inquiry question perfectly aligns our building PLC work with district professional learning, demonstrating a clear commitment to professional learning and collaboration at all levels.
When we first started the process, our inquiry goal was focused on student self-assessment. Since then, we've evolved and we are more focused on student engagement.
We focus on increasing student ownership of revision and feedback. So instead of the teacher always giving the feedback, it's so much more meaningful now that students take that ownership of doing some of their own revisions and giving each other feedback.
Our instructional component is teacher clarity. We focus on that because not only do we have like kind of the traditional curriculum, the content in the classroom, but we also have to apply those skills in the shop setting. Not only does it help us explain our instructions and what the students' skills and content they know, but it's evolved into the students taking better ownership of that limited environment.
This year, mine is focusing on the learning intentions and success criteria, which is under teacher clarity. So this is just the idea that the students have a very straightforward route to success via very tangible, reproducible means.
When we first started, we want to make sure students were involved in that assessment process as we move forward. Now, we're more trying to give students voice to make sure that what we implemented in the last couple of years, now we're making sure to get their voices is actually working.
I think you know that. Maybe you could peer yourself, obviously you're peer assessing, you're also self-assessing.
Our staff understands the importance of building strong learning partnerships with students in the classroom. There's truly a focus on making learning visible for students so they are empowered to take ownership of their individual progress.
Our focus is on strength, speed, and power. And through various tests, we are collecting data, times, distances. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we're seeing more engagement, more excitement, and leading into the student ownership,
kind of taking that teacher clarity piece and really kind of running away with it and developing procedures in the classroom, call them SOPs, standard operating procedures, where students can now, instead of me being the direct instruction, answering every single question, students now have the ability to find those answers. And students are now referencing and working together. I see them inspecting each other's work, and then referring back to the SOPs as where students made a mistake.
This inquiry goal is one day they will record themselves talking, And then they transcribe it, they analyze it, they get feedback from each other, from themselves, which sometimes is hard, but once they get past that, they're amazed at how they can find and improve their own errors.
Our thought process was that you can see in the backseat and assess the student, you should be able to get into the front seat and do it yourself. And what we found through our initial data was kids were learning that. We were going from 30% to 60%. We were going from 45% to 90%, and kids understand it.
Our staff understands that they can make the biggest impact when they work collection. Our PLC model allows them the time and space to make that happen.
And I just have to take a moment to brag, right, about these staff members here, Dr. Agostiniak leading the work, and then these gentlemen here presenting their PLC work not only at the state level, but also at the national level, so that, right, other educators can learn from their processes.
So do we have a question for the gentleman? I do, because we can't let you come for on. So tell us the biggest change you've seen from yourself and from your peers. I know you did a wonderful video, but we want to hear from you. What is the biggest change you've seen in yourself and that of your peers?
I think the biggest thing that I've seen as far as myself in general is being able to, again, take a step back, be able to look at our program as a whole. I think sometimes we get kind of used to a certain pattern of things, and be able to take a step back and see what we're actually doing and what we're doing is actually working and our kids learning. For me personally, is one of the biggest things. I think from a staff standpoint, when we're in those meetings on every Wednesday, again, we have a focus that we know exactly what we're trying to do. So that's one of the biggest things. It kind of brings us together, keeps our conversations clear and concise, and gets us moving and make sure the students are learning the proper way.
Thank you. All right, I'm putting
since we started this process, the thing that I noticed most is that we have a much clearer connection from the classroom, which I was at, connecting to the actual experience in the car for behind the wheel. So we're able to use our inquiry question to guide our instructional practices in the classroom, but then also use the peer assessment, the self-assessment strategies that we've been using to actually see that improve their driving and a little bit less nerve-wracking, knowing that we're all kind of using the same language because we share a lot of kids throughout the different hours, so it's just nice to know that what they're hearing from me, they're also hearing from the other educators in the department as well. So.
And I bet all the drivers on the road are very appreciative.
Oh, very, yes.
I would say for me, it just gives us a singular focus, whether it's PE or driver's ed, and it kind of brings us together and makes us as educators think outside the box to help our students maybe understand the material a little bit more, so then they could teach each other, and then they kind of just learn from there.
Well, thank you, and keep doing what you're doing. All right, next we have committee reports. We'll go with Member Casimir first with education.
All right, our meeting began October 1st at 7 p.m. at the Edmonds Center. We started with an update on the strategic framework, year 2 actions for 2025 to 26, primarily focused on maintaining student success and academic support, to uphold the target of 95% freshmen on track. Key initiatives were outlined, including creating a menu of all credit recovery options, developing exemplar modules starting with Math 1, and ensuring staff training on the credit recovery platform. Complementary actions focused on GPA improvement, which involved finalizing professional learning experiences for instruction, creating a model to assess the impact of the professional learning, and facilitate an equitable district-wide PLC model aligned to inquiry. Additionally, the committee received a detailed presentation on the English language learner program district-wide, covering identification, district data, programming, course offerings, and support resources like SIOP training and after-school tutoring. Dr. Huffman also provided dates for the fall pre-ACT October 16th and the optional NMSQT October 28th. The committee received overviews on state funding from both Dr. Nolting and Dr. Huffman. Furthermore, Mr. James Holt provided a comprehensive report on the MACS grant funding, detailing federal and state dollars. Dr. Huffman reminded the committee that parent-teacher conferences will be held virtually on October 14th, 2025. The meeting, which concluded with no public comments or policy changes, was adjourned at 8:18, and our next meeting is November 5th. I would just like to add commentary that the all-online parent-teacher conferences went very smoothly. We were able to schedule ours almost back-to-back, so it was an hour and we were done, rather than spending 3 hours at the school. So that worked out pretty well.
Any questions? Thank you.
I second the smooth parent-teacher conference. It was nice.
Good to hear. All right, next, you've got the mic. So we'll go with student support.
Student Support Committee. The committee received a strategic framework update on the revised discipline goal for safety-related behaviors. The new metrics ideal state is for 99% of students to have no safety referrals in a school year, which is bold. In 2024-2025, 96.6% of students had no safety referrals. While an ambitious goal, Mr. Ovando explained the importance of aiming for a high standard related to safety-related behaviors. The metric and ideal state for attendance-based referrals will remain the same and continue to be a focus area. The committee also learned of the positive Fall Panorama student survey results, which informed the district's emotional health metric. There was a 2.2 percentage point increase over last year's fall results, with the district ranking in the 99th percentile nationally in 2 of the survey's social emotional domains. Ms. Schulman shared details about the development of a new professional learning experience for staff in co-teaching courses focused on specially designed instruction. This workshop is aimed at helping reduce the achievement gap for students with IEPs in co-taught courses. Finally, a safety and security update from Dr. Carr highlighted ongoing emergency system reviews, safety drills, quarterly networking meetings with local law enforcement, and information on the upcoming school safety conference on November 4th to be hosted here at Stagg High School. Dr. Nolting explained the state's Byzantine evidence-based funding formula, the district's status as a Tier 1 district, and described the breakdown of district funding split between local, state, and federal sources. He also discussed current legislative advocacy that is actively focused on increasing mandated categorical funding, which currently only partially reimburses the district for required services like special education and transportation. The district continues to monitor emerging requirements such as a new world language graduation requirement and proposed voucher/choice bills that could affect public school funding. Meeting adjourned at 8:25. The next meeting will be held November 11th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Any questions? All right, next, Member Jaber.
Dr. Note, we met on October 20th, 2025. Dr. Nolting shared updates on teacher retention efforts, including student participation in the Rain Valley Community College Career Technical Education Program. Planning continues for next summer's building projects, and the district's architect will attend the November meeting to discuss the life safety survey report we received. Property updates included ongoing negotiations for the 10608 property and the planned sale of the Willow Grove. Due to delayed Cook County tax bills, the district plans to issue tax anticipation warrants, and the 2025 tentative levy will be presented. It's going to be presented very soon by our assistant superintendent. The committee also reviewed the bid for the Victor J. Andrew marching band uniform and the upcoming surplus property, and we discussed insurance, which we'll be voting on in the consent agenda, and we had an excellent transportation report, and our next meeting will be November 17th at district office at 7 p.m. Any questions?
No, thank you very much. Okay. All right, next we have Adam from the Teachers Association.
We're officially at that time of year where both our teachers and students are deep into planning, grading, and studying. So for the sake of everyone's time, I'm going to keep things brief here. I'm going to focus on what is on everyone's mind, especially our little ones of trick-or-treating age, and that's Halloween.
And so we have a great tradition here in District 230 of recognizing Halloween with our students and staff. Yesterday, I was at Sandburg for Scholastic Bowl, had a chance to see out the classroom window where we were having our match, the wonderful community event they do for the trunk or treat. Our Andrew rep already talked about Safe Club doing their 6th annual spooky season trick or treat. And then finally tomorrow is one of my favorite days in the schools. Our early childhood preschool teachers and staff, they come around their costumes in the different buildings. They do their trick or treating. So on behalf of all of our teachers, we wish you a happy Halloween. We hope your kids, your grandkids get the best candy bars they can imagine. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right, next, Christy from our ESPs.
Good evening. The ESP Association congratulates Mr. Danlow on his appointment to the school board, and we do look forward to working with you as your new role on the school board. As the student representatives mentioned earlier, all 3 schools held homecoming dances last month, and many ESPs worked them as either general workers or aides to the students. We were all very happy to be at the dances. I was one of them myself at Sandburg. It was a great evening, and so we always appreciate the opportunity to be part of these fun activities and to help the students to have a successful event. The past 2 days, many support staff throughout the district, including myself, were able to attend the SkyCon conference, which was an opportunity to learn more about Skyward and its functions. Thank you to John Connolly and your staff for the opportunity to attend. I learned that I don't know as much about Skyward as I thought I did. So this was a great opportunity. I did learn quite a few things myself, and I was able to see some of my fellow coworkers that I don't normally get to interact with. So it was a great 2 days, and I really do appreciate the opportunity to attend that. As a Sandburg staff member, I will be working the football game on Saturday, so it's anticipated to be a great event, so I'll probably see some of you there. It's always great to have a fun football game on a Saturday night, so looking forward to that as well, and we hope that we come out with a win. I hope you all enjoy your Halloween weekend as well, and just to remind you, don't forget to turn your clocks back on Saturday night so you're not late for somewhere on Sunday. And I wish you a great weekend, and as always, thank you for your time, and it's always nice to see you, and I'll see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. All right, next, Jen Waterman with the District 230 Foundation update.
I will be brief. The foundation has been busy with all things Legacy Hall, which, by the way, is Friday, November 7th. If you haven't purchased a ticket, I encourage you to do so. And if you haven't seen the front page of the Daily Southtown, there's a big story about one of our Legacy Hall winners and mentions the other 6 being inducted. So I encourage you to read that as well.
Thank you. It's always a great event. All right, next we have the 2025 Resolution Committee Report, and Member Dalton is going to represent the school board at the III Conference for this event.
So last month, we were all given the committee report to review. As I reviewed it, these are all very into support for the association themselves, and so there was nothing that's really external but internal. The recommendations were to support all of these. As I read through them, I would believe that we as a board would want to support all of those. I just want to make sure that there was nobody that had any other thoughts. Then I will be representing us at the conference, and I will be voting yes on all of the items that they presented. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. All right, I believe, Ms. Waterman, we do not have any public comments. I didn't think so. I just want to make sure I acknowledge that. All right, next, if we could have a motion for the consent agenda items.
I move that the school board approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
There's a tie. I think that was Member Jaber and then Member Saratori. Any questions?
And I know for the last 2 years, this has been a discussion and a concern. I just think we need more discussions. I think from after this vote, of ways we could save on our insurance policy. I know there's been a lot of increases. I do support the plan that the staff have, but we have to figure out ways as a board how we could save the taxpayers' money.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right, Lisa, take the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passed. All right, next, if we could have a motion for the intergovernmental agreement with the Village of Orland Park, School District 135, as presented, and to authorize the board president and secretary to sign the agreement.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, that was made by Member Casimir, seconded by Member Kelly. Do we have any questions?
This is for the 9750, right? It's happy that this is kind of done and behind us.
It's been a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, and I want to thank the village, Orland Park Village Board for working with the schools and the other taxing bodies on trying to get this complete.
I agree, long time coming, lots of conversations, and it's finally here. So I wanted to make sure, okay, no other questions? Yes.
I
Go
have
ahead,
one
Tom.
question, just some clarification.
Jeff's hiding us now, so he might be the one. Adam has learned, and Adam's moved, so now Jeff might be the one who can't be behind the pole.
Yeah, just for the sake of the board, I do, obviously Jeff Egan is here and he's been involved, but we also have Jason Manning from HLERC, and he's been representing us in these discussions as well. So if you have questions for either, they're both here in attendance.
So just clarification, in the one section it says that the parties waive and release from any and all claims for relief, enforcement, or breach of the agreement, okay? And I know in all of the back and forth and everything else, there had been numbers that we had thrown out about funding coming to us that they had owed us. So does that now disappear, or are we still getting what we felt we were owed?
$75,000 in fees owed to us. So that money is sitting out there as a reimbursement request from the village through these TIF funds. So in signing this IGA and passing it, we would be giving up the opportunity for collection on those dollars. We have been averaging about $150,000 in requested amounts for the last 8 years. So if you take that $475,000 over those 3 years, and then the TIF is supposed to end in 4 years, so if you take $150,000 that we would probably be eligible for over those 4 years, that's $600,000. So if you add up over those 7 years, it's about $1 million in tuition dollars we would be eligible for. In them ending the TIF right now, we are expected to receive $1 million in revenue based on the ability to access those property tax dollars with the TIF being ended. So if you look over a 7-year period, we are being made whole from the TIF ending and us having access to those tax dollars.
Okay, so if we're being made whole, which is great, and that's what we had hoped for, then what are we, because you said we are waiving claims, but yet we are being made whole. So I'm confused as to how we're being made whole if we're waiving those claims that we had.
Sure, so over the 7 years, we would have been eligible for $1 million of property, or
Right.
student reimbursement dollars.
Okay.
If the TIF were to continue, we didn't act tonight, and the TIF continued, we would continue to have a claim on those dollars. But they have said at the village that there is no money to be paid for those reimbursements.
Right.
So if we do nothing, we will still have a larger claim on those, but really no source of funds for the village to pay those out.
Okay, so basically then, by ending the TIF and agreeing to waive whatever we have, we technically will lose money that we had a claim to that they said they would never be able to pay us anyway. And now, because the TIF has ended, we will start being paid the claims that we have on that property.
Correct.
And you obviously trust the village that the money's not there, so moving forward and getting some money is better than trying to get blood from a stone, so to speak?
So there's a large debt that the village has kind of picked up for the TIF in terms of the bond payments. So the balance that is sitting in the TIF right now is being transferred to the downtown TIF, which is the TIF right next door to it. So once this executes, the Main Street dollars will be transferred over, and those dollars are to be paid, to be used to pay for future debt payment. That's our outstanding debt payment that the village has a responsibility for.
But you do feel like you trust that there really is no money there to go try to get to be made whole, as Mr. Sarator was saying?
That's my belief, yes. The dollars that are being moved are to pay for the debt service, and I don't know this, but I don't know if it's even enough to pay that debt service.
And the 9750, it's going to be early on the tax rolls, right? 3 or 4 years early on the tax?
4 years, that's what provides us that access to $1 million in tax.
Yeah, so it's going to be 4 years early on the tax roll. So that's the other benefit of it.
That's the new money.
No,
Found money almost?
No, it's a benefit. It's basically, they're paying their property taxes, and that's going to start very soon, where it's going to be on the rolls. So, and I believe that's even included for next year's tax, for the tax levy report, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
If the action goes through tonight, and this is a passed IGA, that will be the third of 3 signatures that will be needed. They will take that to the county clerk tomorrow. There's a November 1st deadline, which is Saturday, so they have to get it in tomorrow. That will provide enough time. 2007 TIF that was created between 135, 230, and the village. So that's really the action that's taking place today. It's the final step of kind of taking that TIF, putting it aside. Any future TIF will have a new set of parameters, IGAs, discussions, things like that.
Just to add to that as after today, in both 135, 230, and the village decided, once we provide some closure to the IGA from 2007, that's where Mr. Manning and the council for the village will start working on terms for future TIFs, particularly for future TIFs that might have residential components. So they're two separate things, and that was intentional, to try to.
That it was. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, Lisa. The resolution to leave off the tax levy.
I move that the school board adopt the resolution establishing
So what we're asking is 4.86. Based on the calculation of the information we know and the estimates we know, we believe it's going to be more like a 3.6% increase in new money. So we have to ask for more. We'll do that levy process. The county clerk will act the property tax tax cap laws, and we believe it will reduce to about 3.6%.
So technically, anyone understand that like the majority?
Sometimes the county may not even give us a full 4.86. So,
We never get the amount, as Jeff just said. We can put out 486, but we're not going to get 486. The last 2 years, I voted against the levy just because I felt that, it's just too high. And I'm not comfortable this year again with that number. But despite that and the fact that I'm having trouble with it, I understand the situation we're in. And I think that our expenses, especially in the last couple of years, have gotten a lot higher than maybe they should be. And I know that we are making so many efforts, especially Dave and John, of trying to save money, trying to cut money on different things that they're doing, or every time we do an upgrade to a building, we try to put in something that makes it more economical. And there's only so much we can save. And we're not a business that can go out and increase the price of our product. So what we're left with is either continuing to tax the people that live in our district or try to find a way to cut more costs. And I think moving forward, we really, really, really have to start looking at that, because, again, I'll just say it, I've said it before. We have a large number of people in our district that are on Social Security or fixed incomes. The COLA for next year is 2.8%. Okay, this will exceed that. Okay, and again, I understand we need the money. We are having trouble. We've got to get tax warrants because the county isn't doing their job. So I will approve it this year, but I really want us to take a much harder look as we move forward. And everybody's got to tighten their belt, everybody, because you just can't keep asking people for more and more and more. It's just not there anymore. So that's all I'll say.
I agree 100% with Tony. We do got to look at our line items and see of where we could reduce costs. And that's something I would like to work on in the near future. If Tony, if that's something you would like to work on, as a building and building and finance representatives, to see what we could kind of reduce costs on. I'm not in favor of eliminating any programs or jobs, but reducing cost elsewhere.
One of the functions here of a TIF, and when a TIF comes off, the way it gets back on the tax rolls is through new property. So as I mentioned, we have a new property number that we don't know quite yet, so we estimate what that is. As a TIF rolls off, which you guys just approved and will occur this tax cycle, you take the EAV of that and add it onto the new property, and that's how you get that back into the tax rolls, right? It was taken off the tax rolls, put into the TIF. Now the TIF is going to dissolve. We have to get it back into the tax rolls. You have to increase your new property estimate. So the tax levy naturally would be higher this year just because of that, to get that property back in the tax rolls. So I just wanted to point that out. This is special this year because the TIF is rolling off, and we do ask for a little bit more new property because of that.
If I could just interject real quick to the points from Member Saratori and Member Jaber, please note that the board goal number 7 is specifically designed for that purpose, to look at our line items, look at efficiencies in our operations. So please understand that that's already in process. That was established by the board in August, and our administrative teams, as well as their staff, has started that process. So please rest assured that that's an area of priority for us, as established by the board in the summer.
And I appreciate, Member Jaber, that you're saying we don't want it to affect students in programs and in jobs. What can we look at that's farthest away from all of that? All right.
One more thing, just to kind of clarify, this is the estimated 25 property tax
levy approval for tonight. We'll be back here in November to actually approve the final property tax levy for 2025. Because we are below that 5% threshold, we do not have to hold a truth and taxation hearing. The total levy this year is $148.5 million. 120.6 of that is in the education fund, 15.5 is the O&M fund. Transportation is $7 million, and all other funds are $5.4 million. Like I said, the impact is approximately going to be about a 3.6% once the tax cap law has been calculated. Any other questions?
I think we're good. Lisa, you can take the roll.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, next, we need a motion for the resolution authorizing the supplemental tax levy to pay the principal of and interest on outstanding limited bonds.
So moved.
Any questions? All right, Lisa?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passed. All right, we have more resolutions tonight then.
Yep.
Okay. All right, next, I need a motion for the school board to adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance of to not exceed $35,400,000 educational purposes tax anticipation warrants and authorizing the sale of said warrants to the purchase thereof.
I move that the school board adopt the resolution authorizing a supplemental tax levy to pay the principal of and interest on outstanding limited bonds. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry. I move that the school board adopt the resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $35,400,000 for educational purpose tax anticipation warrants and authorizing the sale of said warrants to the purchaser thereof.
Second. Well, can I ask a question? Is there any news, any updates on when we're getting the money?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing since.
You just hit refresh on the email button and
Tax bill today, and nothing.
nothing? So, and we still have no idea?
No, the kind of history is news comes on the 1st or the 15th possibly, because the cycle likes to be, in that order. So maybe over the weekend we might hear something. Obviously, there's that 30-day window we keep talking about, so even if it was November 1st, it would be December 1st before we would have those tax bills become due. So we're, based on our cash flows, we're still looking at a need in the month of November, like we had talked about 10 days ago with Building and Finance. So again, this resolution gives the authority to issue these. If we do find out news and when we kind of look at our cash flow and only $10 million is needed to kind of bridge that gap, that's what we'll go and borrow. So just because it says 35.4 does not necessarily mean that's what we are going to get and go secure. That's a calculation that is based in the statute. So 35.4 is specific to our district. Other districts are looking at this in the Cook County area that I've talked to. So you might see other numbers if you're looking at tax anticipation warrants online. But 35.4 is specific to our district. We do have a callable option on those. So once we do receive the money from the county clerk, we can start paying back these TAWs and kind of lessen the interest costs for that borrow.
Thank you.
Love your optimism, Member Kelly.
Yeah.
And thank you for clarifying that in great depth at the Building and Finance meeting as well. Any other questions?
Jeff,
Right.
are they immediately callable, or is there a time period?
No, they're immediately callable. Yeah.
What's the interest rate on this amount?
So we put them out for a request. We have not gotten those proposals back. I believe November 6th or 7th, we're going to get that back. And then so we'll have an idea what the interest rates will be for that.
And we don't regain that money back. If we, yeah.
That's the cost of the borrow.
With property taxes.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we've also had to give up some of our investments in order to
Yep.
cover some of this too. So we've gotten kind of hit with a double whammy.
Yeah.
And it's due to the incompetence of whoever.
We are allowed to earn interest on these funds, so once we do receive them, we'll get them invested. So the cost of borrowing will be offset by some of that interest, not a
But not-
one-for-one, obviously, but, so there will be some cost in this,
Yeah.
like we discussed.
It's a shame. All right, Lisa, you may take roll.
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passed. All right, next.
Thank you.
Project reports. Thank you, Jeff.
Good evening, everybody. Currently, we have no active projects. We're working on next summer's project already. We're preparing bid documents for the next slice of roofing we're going to try to tackle this next summer. We're at Sandburg. Good news is we already had that part bid out almost 2 years ago, so the drawings have been completed, so it'll save us money on the architect to go back out to bid for that same project. Currently still working through quotes for our phased approach to tackle the bathrooms and decking we were doing at the other two schools the last 2 years prior. We're looking through the 10-year health and life safety to see where we need to allocate funds, and hopefully by next month or December we'll have a bid recommendation and some health and life safety to review. Do you have any questions?
No questions. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, superintendent updates for the board.
Yes, so I will be brief, but the document that you should all have with Board Superintendent Goals dashboard at the top. As normal, I'll go through some highlights rather than each and every one of the goals, but certainly if you have any questions of things that I didn't present, I'd be more than happy to go back and highlight those. So I'm going to start on page 3, which is our goal regarding our multi-tiered system of support. As you could see, and as it related to what we discussed at the very beginning of the meeting, we are in the process of our EL program review for multiple reasons, but one would be as it is responsive to our EL data as indicated on the school report card, but we also have a couple models in our buildings that we're trying to create a singular model that's in the best interest of all of our students at all of our schools. So we're really proud of that effort. We know that unfortunately when it comes to some of the gaps in our data, many of those gaps are as a result of programming with our EL students that we think we could upgrade and make for a better learning environment for those students. So we're work in progress. Obviously October's still a little bit early, but we are accelerating it because we want those programs to be in place as students register in January. So our deadline to kind of land that plane is December, so that our students will have those programs in line as they register for their coursework.
I just want to say thank you for presenting that at the Education Committee, because it's the first time that we've talked about the EL at the Education Committee as opposed in the past with Student Services. And they did a phenomenal job doing a presentation and really making more of our committees aware of the challenges and how they're trying to work with our students. So thank you.
Thank you. If you could shift your focus to page 4. October has a lot of things going on. Halloween is included, as you all heard, but it's also ACT month for us in a lot of ways. So we hosted the practice ACT, but you'll see a lot of the work well, at least a good portion of the work that we did over the course of the month not only was executing the practice ACT for our students, but also building data and analytic platforms. Really proud of the effort led by Dr. Huffman as well as her API team and other administrators on the academic side of integrating a professional development model, of looking at robust data access for our teams to look at how students are growing. Are there specific programs that accelerate growth and other programs that may not have the growth impact that we desire? She's going through a professional training on ECRA, and I always used to joke that we have had ECRA for about 20 years, and outside of Dr. Smith, Dr. McMillan, and a former principal who will go unmentioned, we're the only 3 users of ECRA, and right now we're training all of our administration to be active users because it is a good platform to predict and ideally intervene with students who may need additional assistance to perform better on the ACT. So a lot of great work that was done over the course of the month, but a lot more work needs to continue to happen as we prepare for the April exam, which is obviously the real one. If you could shift to page 6, please. Again, October was a busy month from our safety and security standpoint. We talked already about the metric with regard to discipline. We are also partnering with our teachers and our ESP Association to look at some technological solutions. One of that is an e-pass system, so that it would automate how we identify students out on the hallways for passes during class. It's got a lot of really neat features on how to not only track data, but we could see if, you know, that one kid who might have 7 bathroom breaks throughout the day, and that could be identifiable, and we could intervene with that student, because right now a teacher has no way to determine if that kid's been out the period before, the period before that, the period before that. We also have some ways to capture some other data through that, so we're working through a staff committee to see if that's something we'd like to pilot potentially second semester at one of our campuses. And we're looking at our dean staffing. We haven't looked at our dean staffing probably in 15 years, not necessarily at the administrative level, but at the support level, because as we know and as our kids constantly tell us, they feel safe when they see an adult. So are we staffed appropriately to make sure that our buildings are maintained and safe? So a lot of work done. You may have already seen that we are hosting the South Suburban Safety Summit, a lot of S's, South Suburban Safety Summit, actually right here at Stagg High School. The board is welcome to pop in if they'd like. Super impressed with Dr. Carr's list of people who are attending. I think it's almost tripled from her first go-around last year. Schools from all over the south suburbs, elementary districts as well as high school districts. I believe all of our partners are attending, but districts from Lyons Township to Hinsdale to 218, 228. So we're really excited for that, and she's done a remarkable job.
Lisa, could you send us an invite for that, so we know what the date is? Thank you.
All right, and then the final one I'll highlight tonight, at least, is on page 7, and you heard a little bit about that in Member Kazmier's report, but a lot of work done. You've all had the opportunity now to meet James Holt in the position of Director of Post-Secondary and Career Readiness. He is pulling together individuals within the concept of our schoolings program so that we can better link AP dual credit EL transitional programs and vocational identifiers for students who may have interest in certain pathways as they matriculate through high school, so that they have it kind of at the ready. I always like to say our course selection guide is robust. It's kind of a Cheesecake Factory menu in a lot of ways, but a lot of times kids get lost and they don't find the classes that really could benefit them to either find out something they really like to do or something they thought they'd like to do that maybe it's not for them, because it's much better to do that before you graduate high school versus after you leave high school. So we're really excited for that interconnection. He's also developing a work-based learning committee that's forming teachers, counselors, division chairs, and him as lead to work out and build out some work-based learning experience for students while they're here. So opportunities they would have to get out into the community to get those experiences is on its way. So we're really proud of that work and looking forward to the outcome. Again, I'd be happy to highlight anything else, but I thought those were particularly noteworthy for the October report.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to start differently tonight. The FOIAs were informational. Board comments. Member Dalton.
I just want to welcome our new member, Mr. Danlow, to our board. We look forward to working with you, and please feel free to ask questions. Don't feel like you don't want to waste our time. This is important to be able to educate you on where things are at this point, and we understand that this is just part of the process, so please don't feel bad about that. And I just want to say welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Member Kazmier.
I attended my first scope meeting on behalf of the district virtually with Jeff also. They gave us some updates on what they're working on in the veto session for, the Tier 2 pension and some other funding things. I'm still getting my feet on the ground with all that stuff, so I can't really relay exactly what it is that they told us. But I will try to do a better job, and stay informed with that stuff as we go forward.
Thank you. Member Jaber.
Welcome, Tim, to our school board. I want to congratulate all the students that completed fall activities and fall athletics. Long season, but went by fast. And also congratulate the coaches and the sponsors that supported those programs. Also, big game Friday, 2 big games, Andrew at Moline and Saturday, and Lockport at Sandburg.
All right, Member Damlin.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate, again, everybody's support for welcoming me in here.
making sure I have everything that I need to get me caught up to speed here so that I can do my best to contribute. Our committees, I think, have been working excellent, and so I'm fortunate to have been welcomed to those committees as a resident to sit in, to be able to see the kind of things that are going on. And I will second what somebody said earlier about the EL presentation at the Education Committee. That was very eye-opening, and something that the EL population is growing in our district here. So to see the way that we're meeting that challenge to make sure that everybody is getting the best education possible is very important. So thank you again, everybody, and good luck, Sandburg football, Andrew football, and thank you again.
All right, Member Kelly.
Just want to reiterate what everyone's saying, welcome, and to hit on Sue's point, ask as many questions as you can. Sue still helps me with the big words, so it's, you just got to keep asking the questions. Welcome.
Member Saratori.
I too would like to welcome you, Tim, and just so you know, this is a good board, and we do a lot of good work, and sometimes maybe we don't get some of the credit we should get, and maybe sometimes we do something that maybe we could have done a little better, but we do our best. And I think that you'll fit in well with us, and look forward to working with you as we move forward.
And I just want to piggyback what everybody said, welcome, but the perseverance you showed, Tim, to keep coming to things when you said, I want to be a part of the board, you did the work on the back end. I mean, we're very blessed to have many people that applied, but that work that you did was noticed. And I do agree with Member Jaber, it was a very hard decision, and we hope those people still keep coming out. And I am biased as a Sandburg alum, so go Eagles. All right, on that note, I am going to make a motion that the school board will enter into executive session to consider personnel, student discipline, special education, negotiating matters, litigation, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, the setting of the price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body, and to discuss security procedures, school building safety, and security. Oh, wait. Oh, that's the subject line, sorry. Okay.
Second.
I have to read the whole motion, though?
Oh, you're not done yet?
I read the subject line. All right. The motion is to consider information regarding the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or legal counsel for the public body. Student disciplinary cases, to discuss matters relating to placement of individual students in special education programs, and to consider other matters relating to individual students, to discuss collective negotiating matters or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees, to discuss pending or probable litigation against, affecting, or on behalf of the public body, and to discuss the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, to discuss the setting of price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body, and to discuss security procedures, school building, safety, and security.
Second.
All right. Lisa, that was Member Kasmer? Okay. All right. Any questions? All right, Lisa, if you can take roll.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We are going into executive session at, open session is adjourned at 8:28. Thank you, everyone. Happy Halloween.